haters say ignore them till they fade away. Amazing they are grateful after all the game I gave away. Safe to say I paved the way for you cats to get paid today. Still be wasting days away now had I never saved the day. Consider them my protege. How much I think they should pay? Instead of being gracious, they violate in a major way. I never been a hater, still I love them in a crazy way. Some say they sold the yay and know they couldn't get work on Labor Day. It ain't that black and white, it has an area that's shaded gray. I'm west side anyway, even if I left today and stayed away. Some move away to make a way, not move away cause they afraid. I brought back to the hood, and all you ever did was take away. I pray for patience, but they make me wanna melt they face away. Like I once made them spray, now I can make them put the K's away. Been thugging all my life, can't say I don't deserve to take a break. You'd rather see me catch a case and watch my future fade away. Hey, that's right. Immaculately polished with the spirit of a hustler and the swagger of a college kid. Allergic to the counterfeit, impartial to the politics, articulate, but still a grabber by the collar quick. Whoever having problems with their record sales, just holler tip. If that don't work and all else fails, then turn around and follow tip. I got love for the game, but hey, I'm not in love with all of it. Could do without the fame, and rappers nowadays are comedy. The hooting and the hollering, back and forth with the arguing. Where you from, who you know, what you making, what kind of car you in. Seems as though you lost sight of what's important when depositing them checks into your bank account and you up out of poverty. Your values is in disarray, prioritizing horribly. Unhappy with the riches cause you piss poor morally. Ignoring all prior advice and forewarning, and we mighty full of ourselves all of a sudden.
Got everybody watching what I do. Come walk in my shoes and see the way I'm living if you really want to. Got my mind on my money and I'm not gonna.
Hello guys, that was very start up, a warm-up song for what we're going to talk about. That was T.I. and Rihanna featuring each other in the song. It's a thing, and the song is called Live Your Life. Yes, we ought to live our life, but I played it because of course I'm passionate about hip-hop, rap music. Yes, so back in the days I used to be a fan. I'm still a fan, and yes, music is in our life and shall continue to be. All right guys, hello everyone, my name is Garang, as you all know me. I'm just here to have a chat, to discuss with you guys another another topic. I think it's not new, but it is just, it's second edition of Church Ministry Business Plan. We call it part 2. We have discussed part 1 already, but it wasn't in detail. So today we're going to this very go through it briefly together, and then yes, by the way, good morning, good afternoon, yes, wherever you are, to all my fans, my followers, my subscribers, my influencers. You have done a great job. Thank you for your invaluable feedback on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. Yes, and we are here to learn together, to interact, and to grow together, and to discuss topics that are very dear to our life, and and we're learning a great deal of information. So today is about Church Ministry Business Plan Part 2, and just we already discussed it before, so I'm gonna go through it very quickly. It's just there's something that we needed to emphasize. As I said, I am a Christian. I've been a Christian for a very, very long time, for over, I think, 30 years, almost 30 years now, even, yes. And I grew up a Catholic. Was baptized in 1997, and again in the Pentecostal church, in a Christian church in 2011. I have read and studied the Bible, and yes, I know from Genesis to Revelation. Religion is a very critical aspect, is very essential aspect of our life, and spirituality is very important, as I've already shared with you guys about spirituality and morality. Yes. So why are we discussing this one? Is because we are in the journey of making the world a better place. And in my book, the second book, by the way, my second book, Making the World a Better Place, is out already. And if you haven't got it, please go to Amazon.com online and grab a copy. It is very loaded with a lot of information, and I believe it's going to inspire you and educate you and spark a lot of questions. And so, yeah, so the reason I included it, church ministry business plan, it is because I believe and I think churches must be reformed to incorporate business principle and strategies, in their operation and management. Yeah, so that is very essential, and that's the reason I included it. For example, to my understanding, the Bible or the gospel, it's supposed to bring people peace, joy, healing, success, and prosperity. And the church, that is supposed to be the purpose and the objective of the church, to change people's lives in a positive way. I have said it many times over and over, and I believe many of you as well around the world agree with me with that. So, for example, if someone come into a church, that is because they need relationship with God, and they also need their life to be changed. Whether they are sick, they should be healed. If they are poor, their financial situation can get better. If they are, their family relationship, it is getting worse, people should intercede and pray so that their relationship can get better. And that's meant if they are unemployed, they should get a job. If their business is suffering, people should really pray for that business, to get more customers and get more sales. That is my understanding. The gospel is supposed to be is a good news. Essentially, the Bible says the gospel is a good news. Essentially, it should bring people happiness and joy. That means it must remove hatred. It must remove bitterness. It must remove resentment, failures, disappointment, unforgiveness. All these things, But this is not the reality, guys. There's so much fighting in the church. There's so much conflict in the church. It's unbelievable. So I thought this is really important. Church is supposed to be a place of peace, of refuge, of freedom, of justice, of forgiveness, of love, of unity, rather than division and conflicts and fighting and unforgiveness. Yes, I think that is my belief, and I believe all of you. So this is what I have experienced and observed and researched, and as a result, I thought I would help by talking about something that will help the churches around the world. So I believe many churches are doing the right thing, but many churches need some reforms, need some changes. And if we do that, whether it doesn't matter, in Africa, in Australia, in America, in Europe, in Asia, no matter the church, yeah. So the reason, and I believe the reason is because, businesses lack something called church ministry business plan, or ministers of the gospel. They are not managing and operating the church ministry effectively. You understand? If someone, for example, lacks some skills and qualification in terms of leadership and management, they should actually get some help, because I believe many pastors lack those skills. They should get help from professionals. You can get staff that are qualified in human resource, in finance, in operation, in technical, in IT. You could support. You could get staff in those key areas that can help you actually operate and manage the church effectively. And I believe the church can deliver an extraordinary result. So, like I said, church is a non-profit organization and a social enterprise, which means actually they are not there to generate a profit, but they are there to transform and change the society through the gospel in a positive way. But whether a church, whether an organization is a non-profit or a profit organization, in today's economy, in today's world, businesses must incorporate, organizations must incorporate some business principles and strategies in order to achieve the positive outcome that they desire to achieve their vision and goals. Otherwise, they could not compete effectively, because even churches as well, they are competing against each other. Why? Because once you start something, you want it to to be effective, to succeed. If you're not putting the efforts, the resources, the time, and the qualification, the skills, then guess what? You're not gonna get the outcome that you want. So I believe all the business around the world today, manufacturing, those who manufacture cars, for example, Toyota, BMW, retail like retails, nowadays, and banking industries, service industries, universities, yes, no, you name it. All these business, even tech companies like Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, they have business plans, and they must incorporate business principles and strategies in order to achieve their vision. And we have seen how effective they are and the impact that they are making. So churches as well, they must emulate the same strategies in their operations. And it's never too late. If you have a church that's already been established, you could adopt a business plan. So I'm saying that why? Because this research says that Christianity has influenced some societies, social, economic, and political system, and has contributed significantly to the development of the capitalist system in Western civilization through hard work and entrepreneurship. Yeah, so Christianity, it is the foundation of capitalism around the world, and capitalist system, and has contributed immensely into the development and civilization of many countries. Therefore, I believe making the world a better place can be achieved through a sound and adequate Christian church ministry that is being planned. You understand? With due respect to other religions, they are doing a marvelous job, but because I'm a Christian, I can speak only to a Christian institution or about the church. I believe Muslim, they have the mosque, and Jews have the temple. Buddhists, they have temple. Hindus, all these are spiritual and religious institutions that have been established, and they are affecting their members and their societies in a positive way as well. But we are speaking about Christian ministry. So, okay. We already talked about how important it is that the church ministry need a business plan than before. Why? Because we live in a contemporary society, and with that is changing in terms of political, social, cultural, economical, and technological. All this influence, whatever we are doing, whether we are doing a business, building family relationship, whether we are working, whether we are studying, they influence us, and we have to adapt. The same way church ministry must adapt to all these changes. And for example, beginning with the printing, distribution, translation, and canonization of the Bible, around the world, it wasn't just came from nowhere. It was because of the revolution that has taken place, and now the gospel is being spread and preached around the world, in very quickly and visually using technology. So church ministry business plan is very essential for church leaders to have a tremendous and significant positive impact on society and make the world a better place. I'm going very quickly because we have covered this ground before, and I'm just trying to get to very important area that we wanted to talk about. So the church ministry must have leadership and management structure, must have a strategic business plan, human resource operation plan, and financial plan, in order to achieve its objective and goals. And the church also must have a vision that is clearly explained and discussed, and a mission statements and goals and objective. So if the church has those elements in their church ministry planned, this will guide the operation and the management in the right direction. Even those who like to be a part of the church management and church operation will become a part of it. But if the church does not have, then it lacks vision and lack direction, and it will be dysfunctional, and it will not achieve what it would like to achieve. That is to preach the gospel effectively and change people's life and society. Study revealed that organization vision and mission and values are foundation principles that guide their identification and implementation of organization strategic operation and management plan. Brightly et al. In 2009. So, as I said, a church ministry must have a vision statement that highlight and briefly explain and summarize what it intends to achieve, in the long term. That is between 5 to 10 years to 15 years to 20 years, yeah. So the ministry vision can include, for example, to preach the gospel, minister salvation, forgiveness, healing, deliverance, peace, prosperity to all people, all nations, all race, and all language. My understanding, it is church, it is for everybody, no matter who they are, because Christ has come to the whole world with exception of none. It doesn't matter whether you are black or white or red or yellow. It doesn't matter which continent you are. It doesn't matter which country you belong to. The church, according to my understanding and what I have read in the Bible, it is for everybody. Though it can be contextualized based on location, or based on the needs, and the scale and the resources. But I believe the gospel is for everybody and for all nation and race and language, because at the end, the purpose and the objective, it is to transform people's life and transform society in a positive way, and make people effective in their families, in their jobs, in their business, in their education, even in the government. Yes. So that's an example of church ministry vision. So I'm just giving you an example. Your church vision can be different, based on what you intended to achieve. You understand? Yes. But it must be achieved through the gospel, and the gospel, according to the Bible, it is for everyone, every race, every nation, and every country. Okay, the mission statement also is a brief statement that highlights how the church organization will achieve its overall long-term vision, which can include or be similar to the following. So the mission is explain how the church is going to achieve its vision. So, for example, it could be the purpose is to transform people's life in a positive way through the gospel and make the world a better place. So this can be a mission, but it can be contextualized to address some social, political, and economical issues. For example, the church ministry mission can emphasize addressing global issues, including advocating for human rights, reconciliation, healing, tolerance among communities worldwide, around the world, and also praying for and interceding for peace, justice, freedom, and prosperity. So every church mission is going to be different, and that is okay. But the most important thing is for a church ministry that wants to make a positive impact to have a vision and a mission. And also, the church ministry must have objectives and goals. It could be different. It could be, to influence and to reach, I don't know, 500,000 people in the local, in your city, or to reach maybe, I don't know, 2 million people in your country, just as a goal, as a goal. And then you have a strategies how you're going to achieve that. But let's just read what is being explained. So the church ministry can include attaining a certain percentage or number of membership growth in a given period as a goal and objective. Yes, a church ministry goals and objective could be, for example, if a church is started with, let's say, 50 people, so if you wanted to achieve next year 100% growth, so that is 100 people, you understand? Or if you want to achieve 200%, so that's 150. Yes, so that's a goal within a year or 2 years. It might be a specific time frame attached to the goal, and that you will have a strategy how you're going to achieve that. Maybe you do some engage in marketing, you engage in campaign and all this thing, and we're going to see later on. A church ministry goal and objective can be to purchase or to own a church building if it does not have, and then you're going to discuss the strategies and the method how you're going to achieve that. Yeah, all these things we have discussed them in church ministry business plan part 1. So I'm just giving you what already we discussed. So, church ministry vision and mission and goal, objective. Yes, they just for illustration purposes, but of course every church ministry, and they will have their own specific to their church ministry. So the objective and the vision and the mission of the church will be determined by the location where the church is located, of course, the city, the country, the continent, the scale, the size, the context, the resources, the capability, and many other factors. So all these things will determine will determine church's objectives and goals, how much it can achieve and how much it can reach. So that was just church ministry vision, mission, and objective and goals in brief. So we have a church ministry marketing plan. Basically, when you have a vision, you have a mission, you have goal to achieve something, there is a strategy. How are you going to achieve that? So we have church ministry marketing plan. We already discussed that in order for a church to be effective, it must engage in marketing and advertising. My God, this is huge. Okay. So what is marketing? Marketing is simply advertising and promotion, but it is more than that. So marketing as defined or by marketing professor Kotler says marketing is an art of creating, communicating, delivering value to customers, clients, partners, and society at large. So marketing is yes, the simple understanding is just promotion and advertising, but it is more than that. There's more going to it. So it starts by creating the value or the benefit or the advantage that you have as a business, as a church, and then communicating it, which is advertising and promotion, and then delivering it, that is it, to customers, clients, partners, and society alike. This to the church context means church congregation, and the public. So the church congregation will be called the target market, which are the people that will, of course, enjoy or take advantage of the church service. So what does the church offer? What does the church offer to the public or to its members? When all we know, actually, the church engage in a lot of activities. For example, there is teaching and preaching of the gospel. During Sunday, when you go to a church on Sunday morning or Sunday evening, it depends. There is people are taught and there is a preaching of the gospel. The purpose it is to train people and to encourage them, inspire them, to live a good life. That is the essential, I think. There is a training as well. People are trained there. There is leadership training, that's happening in church. There is salvation. Salvation, it is the concept that, the whole world, it is need to be safe from Satan, from the devil, and the whole, this is, I'm talking general because I'm talking to a wide range of viewers, so that who may not be Christian. So salvation is a Christian concept, is a Bible concept, that actually people must be saved through Jesus Christ. So the church offers that. The only church ministry can offer that. There is baptism, water baptism. That is another doctrine, another concept that the church provide. Communion, this is a communion that actually a symbol of the body of Christ. The church of healing, people are get healed. People are get delivered from demonic. People, they can pray. There's prayer. If you need a prayer, you can go to church and ask people to pray. There is counseling. If you need counseling, but any issue, relationship, whatever, personal problem, you could receive counseling in church. You can go to a pastor or church leader that can counsel. Church also engage in administration and management activity, because there is also conferences. Church organize conferences, revival program, and Bible study. So all these things, are activities that the church engage in. Yes. And as I said, church is for everyone. So everybody is welcome as long as, you're coming to listen to what the church is, and then after that, if you have to receive, if the teaching or the preaching is appeal to you and is helping you, then you can become a church member. If not, then you are not compelled to be a church member. So church is for everyone. That means young and old, male and female, every race, nationality, culture, language, they are all, God, it is for everybody. Church also, it is ideal place for families, business and academic communities, government, and other institution of employees. So if you are a business person, doesn't mean that you don't need spiritual training. Yes, you can go to church because there is a problem that actually your business cannot solve. There's a lot of sometimes there's people come into a point that you are hopeless, you are helpless, that you want a higher being, and that where church, as only church can provide, or the church minister can provide. They can pray to you, they can encourage you, yes. So it is for that. No matter how successful you are, you can still need God. Imagine in the natural disaster, in conflicts, where people are hopeless, where people go to, your business, your money, all these things cannot help you. But if you have faith in God, if you are someone who believes in a higher being, in those moments of difficulty and problem, you could pray, you could meditate, and God could hear your prayers. And that's why church is very important, or spirituality is very important aspect of life. Yes, we can live our other life, our business, run our business, enjoy our family moments, go to school, do whatever. But, spirituality also is very important. If you are an academic, professor, a teacher, a lecturer, a student, yes, it's coming point of time that you could, that you need God in your life. If you are a politician or you work for a government institution, yes, if you have that moral conscience, you could actually carry out your government duties, your public service duties, with clear conscience, with a good faith. And that is a good thing, with integrity, with responsibility. And that's what the church provides. Church is a spiritual and moral place where we receive that moral and spiritual training that can train our conscience to do positive things, to make decisions that are wise, that are responsible. Yes, that's what it is. I've run up the word, guys, but I believe I explained myself very clearly. So the purpose it is to change people's life and transform their homes, their workplace, the place of study, and society in general. Yes, I don't know why I decided to do this video in such a very circumstance, but it is okay. So church marketing plan, it is very important. It include activities, processes, procedures that the church will engage in creating, communicating, and delivering value to the church congregation or to the society. All right. So as I said, that a church must create and communicate and deliver value, quality value to church congregation in a way that is better than other churches or other organizations in order to attract as many people as it can. Because nowadays, some churches are very successful, other churches are not. Why? Because they are attractive. There is something that unique about them that allow people to go into the church or to become members of those churches, while other churches are very stagnant, because they're not doing what can attract people to their ministry. So I believe that is the key, the advantage, the satisfaction, the happiness, the atmosphere and the environment, the positive environment, the positive culture that is created, the joy, the love that people receive, makes people come to church and not to go to other places. So this can be created using something called marketing mix, and it include products, promotion, place, people, process, and much more. So there are so many ways that actually a church can distinguish, can create quality value to attract as many people as it can to the church. So it includes the service, the church service that they do. It includes the promotion, the way that it advertises itself. It can include the people that are in the church themselves. It can be the place where the church located. It can be the process, the policies that are, and procedures, are very well organized. The activities of the church. So there's so many ways. Yes. All right, and church ministry product and service. As we said, that church does not produce anything else. It's not like a manufacturer, or it's not like medical center, or shopping center. No, but like we said, church services must be unique and special in terms of teaching, preaching, praying for people various needs in life, spiritually, physically, and financially. So a church, if I wanted to go to church and I say, guys, I need you guys to pray for me so I can become, so I can become rich. I don't think that has happened. No, there is no. But nowadays, there's some churches that actually are deceiving people. If you come to our church, we can pray for you and become rich. That is an illusion. It doesn't happen. But at least, like as I said, if I come to a church and the preaching and the teaching is really good, appeal to me. It is according to the Bible, and it's encouraging, inspiring. I can learn something, that actually can make a person come. Another also, it's like the needs, like I said, if somebody come unemployed and they really care about the person, and then they pray for him, and then he got a job, that is very positive feedback, because you help the person really can like the church, because the common sense dictates that if you do something good for the person will return it to you in the same manner. So there's so many ways that the church can help the people that come to their doors. But if a person comes and does not enjoy the service is not well organized, the preaching really does not sink with them, and for the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, and maybe the welcoming or the reception was not nice, it was ignored, then that is not a good sign, or is not a positive feedback that will allow the person to come back again. So people can be prayed for their healing in their bodies, for financial prosperity. Yes, they can be prayed as well to succeed in business if they're running a business, and then you pray for the person, the business owner, and their business got better, that person will come again and say thank you, and become a member of the church. You could pray for the person academic success if they are a student, and they are maybe during exams they wanted to prepare, and then people pray for him, and then he passed the exam. That's a good sign. The person will become a member. So church ministry is a place where people can feel a sense of belonging, care, and love. Therefore, people must be encouraged to become a part of the church community and get involved in service and accept leadership role if they are interested. When in a place where there is love, where there is acceptance, where there is joy, it is not hidden. You could clearly see in the church where people are welcoming, people are loving, people are friendly, and then the atmosphere, it will be encouraging for you to be a part of it. But if the church really is not, the atmosphere is not encouraging, and the people are not friendly, there is no love there is no a sense of belonging, the care that the people do not show that actually they care about you and whatever you're going through, there is nothing that actually is going to encourage you to come again or be a part of that church. Yeah, church also is a place, is an opportunity for leadership, discipleship, and training and development. So in a church where people are trained to become leaders, to be disciple, and to develop personally and professionally, that is a very that's a very good place to belong or to be a part of, because that's one of the areas that the church can distinguish itself from the other churches. Some churches, they do not care about their leaders training, discipleship, and development, and that can be an issue. This can be achieved by providing people with an opportunity to showcase their talents, gifts, and abilities during the service in any capacity. and help them transform their family, communities, businesses, yeah, and workplace as well. So the purpose of training, leadership, disciple, and development, it is to give people an opportunity to showcase their skills, their qualification, their gift and abilities, because some people could have the talents, but it is underdeveloped. But if the church open an opportunity or provide the opportunity for people to showcase that and develop their talent, that can be that can attract the people, become a part of the church, because they feel a sense of value and important, and that they are contributing positively to the church. But if the church ignores to develop their members' talent, abilities, and skills, then people can go where they can be appreciated, where their contribution can be valued, can be recognized, and be rewarded, and that is very important. Oh my God, it is too long, this thing. Okay. Like we said, making the world a better place can be achieved through a theory of change. Concepts called the theory of change by social enterprise organization. And we have said that church is a social enterprise and a non-profit organization that positively change society, politically, economically, socially. But it must do so using business principle and strategies. In the same way, just like any other non-profit organization, such as universities, hospital, and etc. So, church ministry is a non-profit organization, a social enterprise that exists not to generate profit, but to make a positive impact. And it depends on the public or church members or government grants and donation to preach the gospel around the world. So the church, where the church monies come from, it is from the members. It could come from members of the public, donation, or government grants. And that is explained in church ministry marketing plan later on. So church ministry promotion and advertising. Church can create value through advertising and promotion by promoting engaging in activities and process that will make their service noticed and received by the public. The essence of marketing, it is to get the message about business products and service to the target market in a meaningful and effective way. So when businesses engage in marketing, is basically they have to advertise. We have seen on TV and radio, the ads is repeating every day, and very often. Why? Because they just wants you to listen to that ads, and until you get tired and go and buy that product or experience that service. I think in the modern time, the church must engage in those kind of advertising as well, which is, it needs resources, financial resources, it needs time. So church must engage in advertising promotion campaign, to attract as many people as possible to its service. Why? First of all, because churches are competing against each other. And second of all, because there is an urgency of the gospel that there's many people that must be reached. You understand? The world is 8 billion people. So, and there is a fraction of that only are Christian. And there is a lot of people who do not believe in Jesus around the world, and that must be converted, must be reached. And how they can hear it if the church does not engage in advertising and promotion campaign. However, before the church engage in advertising and promotion campaign, it must ensure that actually the service is very special, is very unique, like we said, like we explained, in terms of teaching and preaching the gospel, healing, praying for people, interceding, and baptism, salvation, and etc. All these things, In other words, church service must be of high quality, in order to be perceived positively and effectively by the people and the public. So promotion can be through traditional method or contemporary means of advertising, depending on many factors. And is guided by the vision, by the mission, and the objective of the church. So, which require a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of effort. All right, oh my God. So, the advertising campaign also is guided by the size, the scale, the shape, and and the context and the location of the church. How small, how large, local or global is the church, will determine the amount of advertising and marketing campaign the church will engage in. Because the larger the church, the larger advertising and promotion, and the costly it will be. The smaller the church, the less advertising and marketing campaign it require, and will require less cost. So traditional advertising will include just by telling people, hey, why don't you come to a church? It's just across the corner or down the street. Yes, that's what it is. You can tell your friend, your family members, that's how it is. It can include, that's the cheapest one, because it doesn't cost nothing to tell a friend or family member or a colleague just as long as it is convenient, it is safe, it is legal. So this is evangelism. In other words, you know, in the church context is called evangelism, but in business context it's called marketing and advertising. So also the church can print flyers and distribute them, business cards, signposts, logos, and branding. So this where the church can print business card or flyers and then distribute them, you know, with describing the location, the address, the key stuff, and what they're all about, and then distribute them on the letterboxes around in the city. Yeah, so that's another way the church can advertise. Okay, I think we're going to stop there in a few minutes. So another way of promoting business around the world is logo. If the church has a logo or brand name, they can print that one in a signpost, or you know, and can be designed, created, and written in the large signpost in front of the building, or in a portable, you know, that can be taken in and out the premise every time the church opens and closes. So yeah, I think we've said that before. So if the church logo, brand name, it is very appealing, attractive, it can bring a lot of people who will come across, who will see it. You know, we have a lot of advertisement, you know, even on the street. I think that is a lot of money, but if the church has a lot of money, it can do that. I've seen those signs, you know, a lot somewhere. And then you have contemporary marketing. The church can engage in digital and online marketing through radio, TV, and internet, social media, you know, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Yes, the church can use those platforms, and website as well, you know, because if the church has money, why not? You know, you can design a website, you know, that people can actually access and see what does the church is all about. And sadly, many churches today do not have a website, and you know, because that is the most convenient way that actually people can find out about your business, about your church ministry. So yes, it can be expensive, but if you're really serious about growing the church and attracting as many people as you can, yes, why not? You know, because we live in advanced technology world. So if the church has the resources, has a lot of money, it is recommended to engage in those contemporary channel of advertising. So this can require budget, finance, and expertise, and gifted people, skills, qualified members, church members, to implement effective and efficient church marketing strategy that can help attract new members and attain its vision and objective. So advertising and marketing can be achieved through various advertising, like we said. That's really what is it. I think we stop here. So like yes, like I said, church is a building, okay? And I have been engaged in many churches, Christ Embassy, Hillsong, even local Sudanese church. But we have, there is a, so church is not a person, it's not a person, that's just to be. So church is many people that gather in that one place, you know, and is a place where people receive teaching about the Bible, preaching of the gospel, where people can pray to one another, encourage one another. Yes, so that's what the church ministry is. There's a misconception about the understanding of what church is. So church is not a person, just to be clear. It's a building that is designed where people can go and meet there. And if churches are very serious about establishing, operating, and managing the church, they must incorporate business strategies and principles, including engaging in rigorous and robust marketing and advertising and promotion campaign to attract as many people as they can, because that is the essence. If the church, for example, has been started and it's been 30 members, or I don't know, 50 members for the last 10 years, then there must be something wrong. Yeah, so that's the reason. If we try these strategies and put them in place, I think we will see the result. I think I will stop here. We shall continue next time, because I think this is getting too long.